She scrubbed the dirtiest homes in Britain and never backed down from a fight. She was loud, fearless, and unforgettable. But behind the sharp tongue and dramatic exits, Kim Woodburn was hiding something tragic. Now, at 83, she's gone. And the truth about her life is finally coming out. The news broke quietly, but hit hard. On June 14, 2025, it was confirmed that Kim Woodburn, television personality, cleaning expert, and reality star, had died after a short illness. Her manager issued a public statement to the BBC. It is with immense sadness that we let you know our beloved Kim Woodburn passed away yesterday following a short illness. Kim was an incredibly kind, caring, charismatic, and strong person. Her husband Peter is heartbroken at the loss of his soulmate. For millions, the name Kim Woodburn was synonymous with scandal, sass, and strength. But at that moment, all the chaos stopped. The woman behind the tough exterior had left quietly, with her husband by her side. On Instagram, a message appeared written by Peter himself. "My wonderful, beautiful Kim passed away last night. God bless my love." It was simple, but it shattered hearts across the country. A collage of old photos followed, Kim smiling, posing with fans, and standing proudly in her signature pearls and perfectly styled hair. It was the end of an era. Kim Woodburn didn't become famous overnight. In fact, her fame came shockingly late in life. Born Patricia Mary Mackenzie in 1942 in East New Hampshire, she grew up in a strict household that would go on to define much of her emotional makeup. She left home at just 16 and began working as a live-in cleaner, scrubbing floors, washing dishes, and earning barely enough to survive. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy. But Kim endured. Then came the show that changed everything. How Clean Is Your House? Premiering in 2003 on Channel 4, the show was a runaway success. Kim and her co-star, Aggie Mackenzie, stepped into some of the filthiest homes in Britain and somehow made it entertaining. They didn't just clean. They taught. They scolded. They judged. And they made it funny. Kim's commanding presence stood out immediately. She wasn't afraid to call out laziness. She wasn't afraid to yell. And viewers loved her for it. The show ran for 6 seasons, ending in 2009. But by then, Kim Woodburn had become a household name. After How Clean Is Your House, Kim could have stepped back. But instead, she did the unthinkable and went into the lion's den of reality TV. In 2009, she entered the jungle for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. She was 67. Most of her competitors were half her age. But Kim? She nearly won. She finished second to Gino D'Acampo, but the public had spoken. Kim Woodburn was a force. Then came Celebrity Big Brother in 2017, a moment that would define her legacy. It was explosive. From the first day, Kim clashed with her fellow housemates. Arguments escalated. Tears were shed. Security had to intervene more than once. But Kim never held back. She became the star of the series, intentionally or not. Her most infamous clash was with Colleen Nolan. The two had a history of tension, but during a live episode of Loose Women in 2018, everything came to a head. Kim appeared on the show, allegedly to reconcile, but instead, it turned into a televised ambush. Kim walked off the set in tears. Over 3,000 complaints were filed with Ofcom. Kim later said she felt humiliated. Colleen received intense backlash. Viewers were divided. Some saw Kim as aggressive. Others saw her as vulnerable and mistreated. But either way, everyone had an opinion. And Kim's public profile skyrocketed again. So who was Kim Woodburn when the cameras weren't rolling? To many, she was harsh. She didn't mince words. She made enemies on screen and had no patience for nonsense. But behind closed doors, she was battling demons far worse than anything we saw on TV. In 2007, Kim released a memoir titled Beaten, and for the first time, she opened up about her past. She wrote about growing up in a cold, abusive household. Her parents showed little affection. She and her sister were sent to a Catholic boarding school at just 3 years old. According to Kim, the nuns were merciless. They beat you. They were very cold to you. There was no kindness at all, she recalled in a later interview with BBC's Heaven and Earth. This wasn't just a bad childhood. It was trauma. In her 20s, Kim became pregnant. The father, her boyfriend of 3 years, abandoned her. Alone, ashamed, and without support, Kim lost her baby at 6 months. She buried the child in a park in Liverpool. And she never told anyone. I didn't have the backing of my parents. I'm so glad today it isn't such a shameful thing, she said. But back then, I had nowhere to turn. The pain of losing her child never left her, nor did the scars of her childhood. She later admitted she could never forgive her parents. She carried that pain with her for the rest of her life. Amid the chaos of fame and trauma, Kim found one solid thing in her life: her husband, Peter Woodburn. They married in 1979 and stayed together until her death. Peter rarely appeared in the spotlight. He didn't need to. He was Kim's anchor. In interviews, Kim described Peter as quiet, kind, and endlessly patient. Their relationship was one of deep devotion. They settled in Nantwich, Cheshire, where Kim could escape the noise of television and simply be a wife. Her manager confirmed that Peter was heartbroken at her passing. His simple Instagram tribute said everything. God bless my love. It was clear. She wasn't just a media personality. She was someone's everything. Kim didn't just appear on TV. She became a meme, a quote, a symbol of unfiltered British honesty. Lines like, "Don't start with me, dear," or "You're a chicken-livered coward," became instant classics. Social media exploded with Kim gifs, quotes, and reactions. Even people who never watched Big Brother knew who Kim was. She guest starred on Loose Women, This Morning, and even appeared in parody skits. Younger generations admired her boldness. Older fans respected her resilience. In a world of carefully curated celebrity images, Kim was refreshingly raw. But she wasn't just a personality. She had influence. Singer Jedward, who appeared with her on Celebrity Big Brother, praised her openly. "You had our back when we got bullied in CBB. We will never forget that." Producer Lee Smithhurst shared a story from 2018 where Kim, after filming, insisted on signing autographs for children at a nearby school. She turned to the crew and said, "I'm a big hit with the primary kids, dear. Has anyone got a pen?" That was Kim. Unpredictable, hilarious, and kind in ways people never expected. But not everyone loved her. Radio host Pete Price summed it up best. "You loved or hated this larger-than-life character." I loved her. Her critics said she was rude. They called her aggressive, confrontational, even cruel. She interrupted people, yelled on live TV, and held grudges. But her defenders argued she was simply honest, something rare in showbiz. After the Loose Women incident, Kim gave multiple interviews explaining her side. She said she was manipulated, that the producers set her up. She never truly recovered from the embarrassment. And yet, she never stopped speaking her mind. Kim didn't care about pleasing everyone. She never played the victim, even when she was. In her later years, Kim stayed mostly out of the spotlight. She focused on her health, her marriage, and the quiet life she never had growing up. She occasionally appeared in interviews, usually to give strong opinions about politics, TV stars, or modern manners. Her quotes still went viral. Her fans still cheered. But you could sense a slowing down, a softening. Then, in June 2025, the news came. Kim Woodburn was gone. No elaborate farewell, no media spectacle, just a simple message, and the silence that followed. What does Kim Woodburn leave behind? Not just a TV career, not just controversy. She leaves behind the story of a woman who came from abuse and pain, who fought her way into the public eye, not with privilege, but with personality. She survived loss, betrayal, and shame. She built a legacy by refusing to be quiet. Her cleaning tips helped thousands. Her fearlessness inspired millions, and her brutal honesty made sure she would never be forgotten. Kim Woodburn may have spent her life cleaning up other people's messes, but the truth is, she never stopped cleaning up her own. And she did it on camera, under the harshest lights, without flinching. Rest in peace, Kim. Britain's loudest voice just fell silent. If you were moved by Kim's story, subscribe to our channel. Because behind every headline, there's a life worth remembering.